I'm always on the
I'm out the back door just before midnight. I push the pedal to the floor. I run away. She says it's only in my head, but my heart is screaming. Hey, you! What you trying to prove? I won't play your game, and I won't play your fool. Hey, you! Best be making your move. Play your last hand. Better understand. Now it's time to surrender. Yeah, 'cause my love don't live here anymore. Ooh, baby, it's time to surrender. There's nothing left to fight for. There's nothing left to say. Oh, she cried so tough. It's too hard to let go of the lies inside the shadow of her tears and of her pain. And I denied when she was playing the heartbreaker. Hey, you! What you trying to prove? I won't play your game, and I won't play your fool. Hey, you! Best be making your move. Play your last hand. Better understand. Now it's time to surrender. Yeah, 'cause my love don't live here anymore. Time to surrender. It's not love you're making, it's my heart you're breaking.
All right, you guys got it right. Winger, Time to Surrender. I try to play all my songs that go along with themes, if you haven't caught on. But welcome, Skeleton. Megatron gets it right. Big Chris, Godfather of Ramadi. Who else we got? Suzanne Fleming back in Florida. I think you're right, and it's such a shame. Feminism is so demonic, completely against the Bible. Good to have Suzanne in the chat. Mr. Sammy, happy Thanksgiving. He's been married 4 times. He would know if this title is correct. The definition of an opponent is one that opposes another or others in a battle, a contest, or a debate. One who is hostile to an idea or a cause. One who opposes an antagonist. Have you been in a relationship with a woman that has displayed any of these behaviors? Now, women are seeking what women seek. Men are seeking what men seek. We can say what a man seeks: appreciation and intimacy. Would you agree? And a pretty lady. If she cooks, a bonus. If she cleans, a bonus. If she's a good mother, a bonus. But for the most part, men are physical creatures. We want the intimacy. We want the relationship. We want the appreciation, whatever. There are men that marry where the woman doesn't know how to cook. Maybe she learns to cook. Maybe she's not a good cleaner. Maybe she grew up in a wealthy family, didn't understand that, but he still marries her. He's willing to get 60% of his needs taken care of instead of all 100%, because nobody can take care of 100% of your needs. Now, let's take a look at our counterpart, the lady. We've already discussed what men want. Now, this is not 100%. 98% of women will probably fall in this category. Your wife will always be your opponent. Number one, women want a man that will take care of them in lots of different ways. Most importantly, financially, provide for them and protect them. That is what women want, protection and provision. That's why they don't like nice guys, because nice guys are agreeable, and agreeable equals weakness, correct? Number two, women are always wanting more and more and more. They're always wanting more attention. Let's say you're out there working your ass off as a salesperson. You're gone Monday through Thursday, trying to make as much money as you can so you can put a wonderful house, get her behind a wonderful steering wheel, provide her the best vacations and so forth, but it takes you out of the house for half the month, as you're knocking doors and hustling. Well, that's not good enough because now she wants you to be home more. So you're gone to create one dynamic, one reality, and then you're not there. So now you're her opponent in the sense that you're not there to help out. So you can't win on either side. She likes the things that she gets, but at the same time, she doesn't like the fact that you're not there. Pick and choose, correct? Megatron says maybe she burns the whole kitchen, sometimes on purpose. I'm sure there's multiple stories, Mega, about that. Cooking turkey this afternoon, keeping my glass full of tequila. Attaboy. BJ Fornash, good to see you. I wish your channel could be It could be. I mean, I could. I never did. I just thought it would break the message. If you see any ads on my channel, YouTube has placed them there at their own discretion. Godfather, combative, abrasive, disagreeable. I fought enough in the military. I didn't get married twice to fight with my wife, so there won't be a third. Attaboy. And I think a lot of us have been there. Even when you have kids. I remember going baby shopping. As our first was, 1998. This was a year before she was born. And we were going and looking at cribs. And I don't know if those that have kids understand that buying all that shit ain't cheap. A good crib in those days was $500. A good crib today is probably $1,000. I don't know. And then you had to buy the buggies, the stroller, and the bouncer, and the hamper, and all the clothes. And I wanted to give my opinion, saying, this is a nice crib. It's middle of the road. Why do we need this expensive white sleigh bed? For what? She's going to sleep in it, and within 18 months is going to be in a bed. Why don't we buy something that we can use for all the kids? And it was always a constant battle. I was constantly fighting or in disagreement of what she wanted. And in the end, there were times when she caved in and she was angry about it. She'd bring it up. Or there was times that I would cave in. But at the end of the day, there was no amicable discussion on anything. It was always abrasive, fighting each other over everything possible that you could think of. An expert in food to avoid her having to cook. Her mom said she handled Sunday lunch, oftentimes accidentally sold out the shit for being a liar. Damn. Ocean View, good to see you again, brother. Having a wife is like babysitting an adult. Correct. Well, I mean, I'll go back to where I was. Got married, got her a ring. She wanted a princess cut diamond, which is the square one. And some baguettes around her diamond. Very classy, simple ring. I got it made. Proposed to her. Did not get on my knee. I never did that. I never believed in that stupid shit. I just said, let's get married. Here's your ring. And within 6 months of tying the knot, she wanted a different ring. She wanted a bigger ring. It wasn't good enough. Although I had spent a lot of money in those days. In 1996, almost 30 years ago, I'm coming up with almost $4,000 for a ring. When your salary was $40,000 a year, that's a lot of dough. Plus, the honeymoon costs, getting into a rental apartment, getting all the furniture, getting the insurance. So what did I do? I upgraded her diamond and made her ring bigger. I figured, I guess this is what we do. I was really pissed off about it, to tell you the truth. But it is what it is. Retro Area 2999. The unpredictable nature of women is not worth the sanity of men's mental health. Isn't that the truth, brother? Tell me where you're from. Ocean View has got a nugget right here. Every man must learn for himself. Yeah, many of us have been married. Some of us have been married 2, 3, 4 times. We've had kids with different baby mamas. Has it gotten better? Has the second time around, the third time around, gotten better? I don't think so. There's our brother in arms, Gone with John, listening while I'm washing. Guys, check out John's channel. He does great stuff. He's a big OG in the space. He's out pressure washing today, probably making $1,000 to $2,000 a day. 2/3 of my wife's LTRs needed a drama fix literally on the daily. Well, women are emotionally wired, and that's never going away. In fact, I think it's worse today. I'd be open to a fifth go around, but she's going to be loaded and wealthy family and be the provider. Ooh, he wants a sugar mama. Somebody said to me, would you get with a sugar mama? No, you're still going to get the same issues. Nothing's good enough. GOR, Rad should have told her, well, I guess I want a different wife. I'm sure that would have worked out great. I should have done a lot of things different. Should have looked at her mother before I married her and realized that's what I was going to get, which I did. Mega, men's mental health is super important than marriage and cohab, but put together. I agree with that statement 100%. But it's always constant, it's constant. I want to say the word battle, but it's just constant back and forth. Nothing is ever good enough. Nothing is ever good enough, unfortunately. And men struggle with that. They think that the bigger the house, the nicer the car, the better the vacation, the more expensive the jewelry, that woman's going to put out more and more and love him even more and more. No, it doesn't work like that, folks. In fact, the opposite would work. Giving her nothing would probably make her crave something from you. See, programming has destroyed everything. We've been taught that we need to open the doors for women. We've been taught that we need to take a cold piece of lead for a woman. We need to do this for a woman. We need to be chivalrous. And in the end, a lot of us did that and nothing really panned out financially, physically, mentally, and spiritually. We struggled in that regards by trying to keep her happy. Now, is this just in the last 100 years that this shit's been going on? You know, from 1924, did it all start in the last 100 years, the last 50 years? No, I'd say it started a long time ago. Paul in the Corinthians in the Bible talks about this 2,000 years ago. A wife marries planning to change the man, gets pissed off. If he doesn't, the husband is expecting her to remain the same slim gal, typically pulls the pin on the fat grenade. You're not wrong, Skelly. You're not wrong. California. We want Trump. He's got a big mess to clean up, but I think he's making some good strides. She probably showed the ring to her friends and they were negative about it. Yeah, probably. Wouldn't disagree with that. All seeing Otto, sleeping with the enemy. Oh, didn't we all? Brandon Trueblood, they cannot stop themselves from shit testing. It's female nature. Attaboy, Brandon. He's on the road right now. Where are you at this Thanksgiving? He goes live 12 hours a day, guys. Always has a group of folks on there. Probably one of the most important channels on this in the manosphere because he can help men at any given time. Godfather, they try to change you. If you are successful and are not still satisfied, it's impossible. 100%. Mine tried to change me. It never worked. That's why she tried to change me into her father. It didn't work. She had, my dad was a very stalwart man that kicked our ass. And I'm glad he did. All right. Shield Arts Ride. Men give all their power. I think this is Pete. Men give all their power and leverage away to cohab or marriage. Women know it. That's why they disrespect it once they've signed up. Bait and switch. A brother from the UK. Well said. It's interesting, the operating system of a man and a woman. Now, is a woman's operating system wrong? No, it's not wrong. It's who they are. It's biological. Is a man's operating system wrong? No, it's biological. It's who we are. How do we coexist? Is it possible? I don't think it is. I think there is a very small percentage, 1% to 2%, but they're still having the same operating systems. American Gigolo. I saw that. Big World says, good to see our brother in Vietnam. Honest question, at the tail end of the marriage where you have, no, I don't think I think I could break that down for you in a couple different ways. Kansas City, attaboy. I think that I was happy in the sense that I had a family, that I had some children, we built something. But from a relationship, partnership aspect, no, we struggled a lot, and especially with kids. She would never allow discipline and routine with our kids. Very rare. Her daughter was her best friend. My daughter has turned into a 304. And it's not because I'm upset. It's because of what has happened. It's reality. let's just say this. In my marriage, my fatherhood only went to my boys, if that. My daughter grew up without a father, even though the father lived with them, because mom would not allow any sort of parental from a father. She thought I was abusive and controlling. Richie from the UK, marriage and children. I am glad I never did it. I'm telling you, your mental health will thank you for it. All my exes wanted me to dress differently, trying to make me into something they wanted. F that, and to prop them like a handbag. I knew a buddy of mine, his ex-wife, second ex-wife, dressed him. Oh yeah, she would dress me every day. What? You can't dress yourself? If a woman before she becomes a wife could just understand the difference of temporary pleasure and long-term contentment, she would probably still divorce Gray a husband in the West. I don't think you're mistaken, my brother. The woke agenda is out to destroy men, and liberal women are jumping on this agenda, says Realist Vision, and using it to emasculate and destroy their partners. 100%. 100%. I think the opponent, okay, when life got easy, when technology improved in the 40s and 50s and 60s, and I've always said I believe the TV dinner was the downfall of society or partnership or marriages, relationships, TV dinners, especially marriages, because then women didn't have to spend 6 hours a day buying the food, cooking the food, making the food. When baby formula came out, instead of breastfeeding, I think that changed a lot. Gave a lot of power to the women to stop, to not be as productive as they once were. I believe that most marriages that lasted, let's just say pre-1940, let's say 1700 to 1940, was because there was no time to fight with each other. You were fighting every day to maintain existence, to cook the food, to clean the food, to do everything that you could possibly do to even heat the house. You had to cut the wood down. The bathroom was not in the house. You had to go outside of the house. Money activates, motivates the Western woman. Of course, things, materials do. Brad, would you say no to Beyonce? She's not an ugly woman. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? I've never been with a black woman. I've always wondered about it. But I know there's some beautiful ones out there, but I've never had a relationship with a black woman. I think if I had a nice laid down picnic with a black woman, I'd like her to be from like England or something like that. A black woman from England, not from America. Maybe someplace in Africa. Who knows? She isn't your only opponent, is also the government, the gynocentric culture, and the courts. Bingo. Well said, brother. Your little boy turns 8. Congrats. I remember when my son was 8. Oh, he had his little scooter and he rode around and funny, Brandon. It was just, those are fun times. Just still innocent, but growing. Just wonderful times. So give him a big hug from the gang here. Yeah, I see that. It's delayed. Probably YouTube is throttling something. Black, white, yellow, red. It's all pink on the inside. Truth. God said it's not good for man to be alone. I will make him a helper. I can testify that most men are not helpers, but rather destroyer. Most women are not helpers, but destroyers of men. Sure. Well, we could go back to Eve. We go back to Eve. So that's the reality. I mean, we're going to constantly battle and challenge each other in relationships. They're going to want something more. I mean, go to marriage counseling, couples counseling. There's always a winner. There's always a loser. There's always an opponent. You're always in the ring with your wife. And one would have thought, back in the day, your wife would be your co-pilot. She'd be the one supporting you, appreciating it. You'd be appreciating her. You'd be doing the things to build something, to sacrifice for one another because you loved each other and you wanted to. But now, sacrifice doesn't mean anything to most women. If a woman sacrifices, it means she's given up something, which means she feels like she's getting beaten down. If she has to give up the poon She's sacrificing her body for your sake, and it literally messes with their heads. It becomes a transaction, and we've talked about it. Marriage and relationships are transactions. I have no idea why this internet is delayed. There's a buddy, Jason Reed from Colorado. If a man has to tell his wife that water is wet, she would reply, "Not hot water is like that." Oh, ain't that the truth? But I mean, most men, again, if I look back on my life, my experiences being married, having 3 kids, going through a long divorce, challenges, marriage counseling, courts, you realize how important your mental health is. And if you're constantly fighting back and forth with one another, it's not good. It's not good. Not good at all. Genesis 3:15, I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Crazy stuff, huh, Brandon? Even the Bible has warned men of marriage. Why? It's because our programming has always been the same. Men cannot change a woman, and women cannot change it. Well, I think women can change men more than men can. Men can't change a woman, but women have tried to change men, and there have been men that have changed for women. Why? Because that man doesn't want to lose out on the access, which he'll never get typically, or it'll be very rare, to her peace leave. Simone from Italy. Buenos dias. Mochi is back. Good to see you. Europe. Hope you're doing well as well. Char is back from Deutschland. Good to see you. I think Europe's from Deutschland. No, wait. Gotta think about that. Your wife becomes your enemy because she wants full control over you. She is the man. Absolutely, 100%. I have seen a lot of my friends. And there was a time in my marriage where I was just figuring, what the hell, just peace, quiet, and freedom, whatever I got to do. And then I would get pissed because it's like, no, you're trying to change me. It's not going to work. I was a lot tougher than I think a lot of dudes, because maybe it's the experience of my parents, my dad, their marriage. But Europe's right. Europe's right. How can you work with somebody that doesn't want to work with you? It's tough. You ever work with somebody in a job that it's just so difficult, you can't get anything done? Or you just pull your hair out because nothing seems to be going right? Maybe you had a school project and you just had a dipshit on your team. So as we move forward in the next year, we can't change women, and women, nothing is going to change in terms of how our operating systems work. And people say, oh, but rad, once there's the robots coming, that'll change everything. Well, they'll probably be programmed with female nature. What if you could program a robot to have like a brain like ours? In the beginning, she acts submissive to get your resources in the marriage contract. After the contract, she'll feel safe because daddy government is now in the game. Daddy government is part of that. Some thoughts on Spencer Pearson, the guy that has to spend life in prison for attempted double deletion. I don't know about him. Or I'm not putting the name together. They don't call it the honey trap for no reason. The trap, think about it. Why do we call it honey trap, thirst trap? A trap. What is a trap? What is the definition of a trap? Let's look that up. I will look that up for you good men. Definition of trap. Here it is. That's what we got here. Come on, Google. Trap definition. I like to do definition because I think it spells out a lot of things. Let's see. If you're married, Europe says, If you're married to women, 3 people are in your bed, you, the man, your wife, and in the middle of the bed is daddy government. Well said. Good to see Rusty Rivers in the chat. Mayor of Bodybuilding is back. Good to see you. Do you think sales ability is an innate talent or can be learned? I think it's half and half, big world. You have the desire, you can do it. Oh, that's right. I did watch it. It's crazy, man. Double deletions. I for some reason, I couldn't put the name together. Timothy Sokol from San Pedro. Good to see you. Brandon brought up a good scripture from Genesis. I also find it fascinating that also it says about the woman, you will desire to rule over him. Oh, how is that not? That is absolutely true. They want to rule the roost. Fishy pox trap. All right, definition of a trap: a contrivance for catching and holding animals as a concealed pit or clamp-like device. The strategy for catching or tricking an unwary person. Read that again. A strategy for catching or tricking an unwary person. A confining or undesirable circumstance from which escape or relief is difficult. Ooh, the thirst trap, the marriage trap, the divorce trap. That's the old school term. There you go. Hypergamy never ends. You'll never be happy. Even Tom Brady is divorced. Even Tom Brady. The word is snare. Yeah, trap and snare. Women don't like being bothered anymore, but it's more than okay for them to tease men at work, but not off the clock. Oh, they got daddy government on their side. They got the HR on their side. They got all of the laws, the HIPAA laws. Every 3 months in my company, we have to do sexual awareness training and all that stuff. Yeah, literally, it's like a day long. This is how you talk to a woman. This is what you can and can't. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And no wonder, no wonder why the world's so effed up. The fact is that they both survived. Fortunately, he played stupid and Justice played stupid as well. That's absolutely. I mean, here's the problem. Most men in prison today, or the majority of men who have self-deleted, the majority, there is a woman involved in some form or fashion. They're stealing for the woman. They're stealing from people to get money to pay for things. They are deleting the ex-husband or deleting the new guy or what have you. They can't handle the woman moving on, so they delete her, then themselves. It's crazy. It's crazy. 90% of men use dating apps to get women. 99% of women use dating apps for attention and to push their low self-esteem. Yeah, I mean, a lot of women will just get on a dating app to see how many likes they got. And then, well, I got 100 likes today. I can live another day. That's why men get so butthurt. There's Brandon's channel. Thanks, Char. That women don't respond. They don't need to. It's a trap as well. It's an attention-seeking trap. And men have no idea. Most men who are in prison are divorced and homeless. 98% right. Absolutely. Guarantee it. Can we coexist with women? Yes. Can we choose not to coexist with women? Yes. There's men here that will stay far clear from a woman in every aspect of their life because of what the potential outcome could be if they get close to a woman. Close being in the vicinity, looking at a woman. I mean, I am hearing that somebody said, thanks for putting Rusty's channel up there. He's been doing some good stuff as well. In the old days, it was like June and Ward Cleaver. Leave it to Beaver. I'm surprised you even know that, big world, because I think you're in your 30s. But good for you. We used to watch that growing up. They don't need no man, but they sure enough need our attention. Of course. I've always said that women don't want to be wives. They want to be brides. Brides get all the attention on their wedding day. All of it. Do you think the husband, the groom, gets any attention? It's all the wife. That should give you the first inclination of where it's going. What I don't want to seem to get is how you can you stab your XG when the other gender is so protected these days. I think people snap, Simone. They snap in their head. The emotional, that's why men need to literally, our biggest problem, if we haven't learned this yet, when we were blue-pilled, was to control our emotions. That needs to be taught to men today. Divorce means you will die and lose everything. There's no justice in court. I'm happy that God saved me after I'm twice divorced. I've lost everything, and I'm rebuilding myself for 2 years now. Attaboy. Good for you, brother. Check out Eric Zombro's channel. I subscribe to Eric. Lou Hellickson, good to see you. Bait and switch will put you in the ditch. Ooh, I like that. Lou, tell me where you're from. That would be a wonderful bumper sticker. That is so true. They don't need men, but they buy plastic wieners to enjoy their time. Those are called Steely Dans. Millennials have boomer parents we learn from. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, because that was a show in the 60s, and that was playing reruns when we grew up. Cable didn't come out till I think I was 12 years old, like 11 or 12. So we watched reruns at night. You guys remember when the TV would turn off at like 11 o'clock? It would be snow till like the next morning at 6 when the morning news came on. And then cable came out. There was only 4 channels: ABC, CBS, and NBC. And then CNN came and changed the whole game. Women always refer to it as my wedding. Yes, that should be the absolute truth. Women inherently are very content and happy being set within boundaries. When they are able to run wild unchecked, they are miserable and even dangerous and destructive if put in positions of power. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. We should make a meet and greet in the USA of Europe, all brothers. Absolutely. Control over anything. I bought junk food to tempt me. Watch it and not eat it. You know, self-control is so important, especially when it comes to mental and emotional state. So I never had a girlfriend in high school, and after just witnessing everything from women in general, better to steer clear from danger. You know, it's getting harder and harder for men, especially younger guys. 63% of men between 18 and 30 are single or never have had intimacy with a woman. Those are big numbers. That's a huge percentage. I would have guessed when I grew up, it would have been 20%. That 80% of men between 18 and 30 had lied with a woman or had been intimate or sexual with a woman. It's 63% between the ages of 18 and 30. That is a big problem with society when men and women aren't getting together, hooking up, getting married, getting relationships, having babies. Jay, good to have you. We're thankful for MGTOW too. Thankful for that you are here as well, brother. If you guys are new, let me know where you're from. Delart, good to see our brother, Delart McGregor. If she left you, don't forget she is riding another man's stick. Don't cry, move on, and replace her. Absolutely. I mean, that's just women's nature. There's nothing we can do about it. It is what it is. They move on. And we should move on too. Do push-ups. Go for a walk. You won't ever commit crimes. Get that energy out somehow, right, Simone? Most women today are 304s. It's not worth having a relationship nowadays. 98% are not recommended, Delart. CJ, no, that's called easier and easier. Usually we congratulate guys that stay off of drugs. Attaboy, CJ, good to see you. We are going the way of Japan and the herbivore men not bothering with women. Society is at its peak. I think there's only like 2 countries that are having babies, like Africa and like a Muslim nation, you know, Iran or Iraq or something. Say it out loud and clear. Women and demons, scary. It sounds the same. You're not wrong. 500 push-ups every 5 days. Straight? You doing 500 in a day, Rusty? I would do 100 push-ups a day. You'll get to 200. Push-ups are dope. I mean, Herschel Walker, that's all he did in front of his poor. He grew up poor. Herschel Walker, that great football player, he did push-ups and sit-ups. Said he would do 1,000 push-ups when they would watch TV shows and 1,000 sit-ups. Dude was a monster beast on the field. Rad, did it take less than a year for you to see things going wrong in your marriage? Yes. In the first 6 months. Probably within the first 4 months. But we would write it off as we're just newlyweds. We're trying to learn to live with one another. We've never been married, things like that. Knowledge is a great drug to have, brother. Find new ways to do things. Learn new things. Learn history. Learn about ways you can work with your hands. Learn skills. Learn new hobbies. You should have the mentality, it is what it is. You can't change her. Everything was calculated by her years before she left you. You can't change women. That's 100% true. Our replacements are breeding like rabbits. There you go, Trog. 100 minimum push-ups a day. Well, you're looking pretty buff there, brother. After my workout, doing 20 curls with my pizza slice and my big triple burger. Triple burger for 300 Trebek. I'm not sure what it is, but a man enjoying peace is upsetting to a woman. Yes, of course. I've heard that multiple times. To see a man happy makes him. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe the woman wants to make the man happy herself, or maybe she's just angry because apparently this was written in Cosmopolitan magazine, a rag for women. There was an article, and you can Google it somewhere. I had it somewhere, but they're spraying kids out, says All Seeing Auto. That women between the ages, they become happy, the majority, they are most unhappy between the ages of 18 to 85 years old. Go Google it. It's either Cosmopolitan or Elle Magazine, one of those thick, 2-inch magazines. It's full of beauty advertisements. And after 85, that's when they become happy, like Martha Stewart's age or something. So we're not making this stuff up. Most of women are unhappy, and even women have said that. Your replacement is living in hell. She is now his problem. I think the majority of women are unhappy today because they're not following the dynamics of male and female relationships. That men are the pilots and they're the co-pilots. But it's also a problem with men. We've allowed it. Women hate peace. They sure do, Europe. Results oriented. Back in the chat. Good to see you. My way or the highway, or you're abusive and controlling. I saw you with your swords. I'd be a little bit timid to meet you on the beach. You are definitely using your chi power, Rusty. I see the dudes that get with my exes and feel sorry. They don't know it's a minefield. Be sorry for the next guy. He's getting his ass whipped mentally and emotionally, financially. She ain't happy. She's watching every little thing. My brother is going through his 3rd divorce. They were together 7 years, and as soon as he married her, she moved. It was over within a year. There you go. Why does that happen? Again, when they get the nugget, the carrot, there's no loyalty. That's what I thought, Europe. I said you lived in Deutschland. You normally wake up listening to some JFK stuff. It's not what you can do for your country, but what your country, or what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. He didn't want war, and now the elitist Democrats, they want war. That's why they took him out. He didn't want to go to war with Vietnam. If she wants to leave, just say nothing. Open the door and she must leave. If you say okay or thanks, that's too much energy. No man talks. There's nothing you can do or say if you're with a 98% woman that's unhappy and angry at you. It's as simple as that. Oh, that's a great question, Big World. No, very few are red-pilled. They're red-pilled with the government. Most of my coworkers are 98% are staunch conservatives because they don't want the government wasting their hard-earned commissions. If you see a liberal salesperson, there's something wrong with that person. Just saying. We work hard for our commissions, and we don't want to give it to the government for them to waste it on a Skittles agenda. Will Murphy, the only thing that keeps people in line is the threat of violence from children to women, other men, and even other nations. Well, when I grew up, my dad had a belt and a stick, and I respect my dad, even though he whipped our little asses. Sam Fisher, good to see you. As soon as you get what she wants from you, it's over. Guys, check out Sam's channel. Hopefully he's back up. Cohabitation with a modern woman is like living with your worst enemy every day of your life. It's not easy to maintain relationships with anybody. Everybody needs their space. Kennedy's speeches made history. They motivate me. Words are powerful. The Kennedy family is an interesting family, that's for sure. I watched all my friends get cheated on over. I was the only one that stayed single for these reasons, and they thought I had problems. You got the memo, Delhart. That's what you need to say. She is banging his ass daily because she will never forget how sad she was in the marriages before, and the replacement will get Hurricane Katrina daily. Every day they have 12 to 15 hurricanes. And in all cultures, the majority marry and stick with their own race. A lot of it is culture driven as well, Rich. Most of my life, the unattractive females tried getting at me. I can't take in someone else's leftovers. This unpredictable randomness is whacked. It sure is whacked. You have to ask yourself, outside of her beauty and her body and her charm, what does she bring to the table? Will she take you to dinner? Will she make you lunch? Will she scratch your back? Will she give up her peace sleep at any given time that you want? Because she appreciates you. Very, very few are out there. Women lose the tingles pretty quickly. Only thing that kept them in check was social and religious pressure. Those are gone now. Well said, Trogue. You are not mistaken. I've never been married, says Greg Terrible. Good to see you. But I come across all kinds of women from all kinds of backgrounds, and they always say stuff like, it's because you, a guy, I swear. Why don't marriages work out? Because there's a male and a female. There you go. Women are so miserable because they are trying to fight against their own biology. Being masculine is only a superpower for men. Absolutely. They haven't realized that they're out of line with their biology and with their place in society. John Markel is back. Good to see our brother Jerron Markel in Brooklyn. No wife, happy life. Penzel Dryington believes happy wife. Oh, Denzel Washington. And he gets it. And he gets it. It's proud to get permission from his wife. I like his acting, but yeah, he said that. Good to see you, brother. I'm still watching those New York pizza, New York pastrami sandwich places. I just want to make a flight there and eat all week, get fat. But you guys are all right. These have been wonderful comments. I mean, really, truly has. She's your opponent. And I look back and I say, you know, I love my wife. I loved my wife at the time when I married her. I loved her in a lot of ways. There were times when we fought, and I'd see her with the kids, and she'd be so wonderful, and she'd make, and we had good times, we had bad times. But in the end, it just seemed like a struggle, especially bringing kids into the picture. Where we wanted to live, what kind of car we needed as our family grew. Everything just seemed difficult. Although I will give her credit in the sense that when she was a mother, and still is a mother, but when our kids were young, she didn't want to make any decisions. So I bought the cars. We bought a minivan, a Honda minivan, and she was very supportive in a lot of things that I did because her attention and motivation was first and foremost being a mother and a wife. She made food, she made dinner, she cleaned, she did a lot of things. And I definitely appreciate that about her. As the kids got older, her personality changed. And that's just, it's called the mommy switch turned off, the bitch switch turned on. And that's unfortunate. But I never did go without intimacy. She was always good like that. Whether she wanted to do it or not was another story. But in the end, you know, we grew apart. And shit happened. I wish her well in life. The divorce sucked. The things that passed the divorce have not been good, but I accept where we're at. And I'm truly glad that I am no longer married to her, and it's been going on 9 years. 9 years now. And so I would never do it again, ever. It's no. And there are women that are worse than that. There are women that are better than that. It is what it is. But it was constant struggle. It was, except for those first 7 to 9 years of when the kids were little. You know, my kids have a 6-year gap between the oldest and the youngest. So, 10 to 4, the first 9 to 10 years were fine. I mean, you struggled a few times. You got mad because I booked a trip with our youngest, but it wasn't like, I'm the type that likes to book on the fly. I don't need to plan out 2 years in advance. So you got to have a lot of status, money, and good looks these days. And even that might not be enough over time, just not worth the risk. Well said, Delart. Jerron Markel, there's no more wives anymore. As I've said in the stream before, any female a male marries, she's not a virgin. That white dress is symbolic for virginity. They should now put on a red dress, the scarlet letter. My thesis supervisor is gorgeous. When professors take good care of themselves, it's great. She fit, blonde, blue eyes. It's like hitting the jackpot. Hey, whenever a woman's easy on the eyes, I'm fine with that. Absolutely. But that's where we're at in life, guys. Even in relationships, boyfriend and girlfriend. A lot of these girlfriends are less sort of, I think, especially if that woman wants to get married, they're less of an opponent because they're putting on their niceness and their charm as much as possible so that they might get married. They might get a ring from you, or they might get certain things. So there's always that woman that's always on her best behavior when they're girlfriend status. Women will never run out of things to complain about ever, says Will. I think that's just how they're wired. Constantly seeking more and more. Nothing's ever good enough for a lot of them. There are women that I think very few that are happy. My sister is happy. She married the first guy she kissed, and her first boyfriend. They have 5 kids. They've been married 20 years. They met on a Mexican archaeological dig. They were in the same archaeology university class, and they're still happy. Now, they struggle, I guarantee it, but she is 100% committed to being a wife and a mother to him. She does not work. She has a degree. He works. And she's happy cleaning the house, driving the kids around, making food, reading her scriptures and her Bible, and so forth. Lou says, wants something very important. You're never building equity with women. There's no such thing as an emotional bank account, is there? My ex had a business trip to New York City. I had to stay because of my cancer treatment. She insisted on going to a nightclub alone while there. Oh, brother. Now that right there, that tells you everything. Well, we're glad you made it out of it and you're part of our chat, but you definitely, if that won't red pill you, and you know what, that's not uncommon. They leave all that. My buddy worth $5 million. He had a nasal septum and he was in some sort of neck issue. He's pretty much for 4 months didn't work because he couldn't lift his head up and stuff. She went out and had an affair. Guy's 6'4", attractive man, successful. She had an affair because he was sick. He found some dude's underwear in his closet. And she's like, those are your underwear. He's like, no, they're not. I've never had a pair of those. Every man knows what kind of underwear they've ever had. Can y'all imagine a white dress and the chick has tattoos? That is so disgusting, isn't it, Greg? Showing tattoos on her sleeves and her arms. Ugh. Celtic gamer, they have planned a future which consists of choosing a man and letting him do all the work. In return for his support, they are prepared to let him make use of their V at certain given intervals. Good to see you, brother. You are absolutely correct. Speaking of jackpot, I'm happy to say a crypto token I bought 5 is now worth 283K, and I have over $1 trillion of attaboy. Don't sell. Whatever you do, just hold on to them. I've held on to mine. I'm not touching them. Women are as faithful as their perceived options. Scalin 23. You must be new. You are absolutely correct, my brother. Women are, they're only loyal to the next canoe. after they punched holes in your canoe. Where are you from if you're new? The cheat sheets on avoiding women is very helpful and time saving. Single life is beneficial in its own right for men. Now, the problem with men, we've talked about this multiple times, especially young men today, they're very curious. They've seen their parents, most likely their parents are divorced. They're curious about being married to a woman. They're curious about being in a relationship. They're curious about having access to her vagina as much as possible. And that's what gets them in trouble. The curiosity or the idea that they might be different. And we know what happens. We know what happens. You never know how your wife truly is until she divorces you. A wise man said that to me. Yeah, Jerron, you've never been married or have kids. You're like Timmy Kramer. Who else is like that? Retro Era. Sam Fisher. Simone, when around other people, especially women, smell good. Men need good hygiene for sure. You know, even having good hygiene will help you mentally. Once you get the royal treatment from ladies, you can't go back to simping. Well said, X. Well, you're 100% right, brother. Stephen from Arizona, good to see you, brother. Give me a shout later today. You got my digits. Good to see. Stephen is over there in the Middle East. He knows things that happen before the news does. Would any of the guys in this chat be curious about entertaining an AI girlfriend? I would, but not too much. That would be interesting. Apparently, you can get an app down there. Cleveland, Ohio, says Galen. My brother lived in Cuyahoga Falls. I visited him. Beautiful area out there. It's an old city. I never knew how old it was, but Cleveland's got some history. Good to have you in the chat. I'm going to go against you guys on the alone thing. The reason I'm with my girlfriend, because I'm tired of being alone. Well, explain, Big World, explain why you're tired of being alone. Do you think that your life is richer with her in it? Or you guys can just go to restaurants and events and walk the beach and so forth in Da Nang, Vietnam? I get it. It's life. In a lot of ways is meant to share with other people, even friends, good family members. So I don't think you're lonely. You just figure potentially, and I could be wrong, that it'd be nice to walk and hang out with somebody and share moments. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. As long as you know the risks and the rewards. That's what I thought. Jerron has never been married or had kids. You talked about young men at the beginning. If they treat women as if they were professors, they'd better have chances with them. You don't talk to professors. Currently, AI girlfriends are very limited. Some have good photos, but poor language models. Others vice versa, but they lack long-term memory. So conversations repeat. It'll be very interesting to see what happens. Jeez. Can you imagine in 18 months where AI will be? Rusty Rivers given some great advice. Protect yourself, Big World. Take and do certain things to protect you from being taken by. Yeah, that's the thing. Keep her girlfriend status at all times. Never move in. Never cohabitate. Don't have kids. You can enjoy and keep your knowledge that you are the pilot. She's the co-pilot. It's called the Jonathan Noble way, the attorney that we have. Have your own house. She has her own house. She has her own money. You have your own money. You come together. You watch a nice movie, have a glass of wine, smash, and go home. It's funny how feminists call men toxic because of masculinity and then turn around and try acting masculine themselves. Problem is it works for men, not women. Well said, Mr. Colorado. My ex is a professor, book smart, life dumb. There you go. I was married 24 years, then had 2 long relationships with damaged women. Rusty knows a thing. Mr. Captain Rusty knows a thing or two about women. No kids either. They wouldn't be mine. If I did, they really belong to the state. Yeah, you're not mistaken there, man. Kids are owned by the government. Absolutely. Western marriage is male submission and humiliation, says Blaster. Good to see you, brother. No other contract pays the other party to break it. It's an investment women make, and they get paid out on the back end. Most women today, Simone, are crybabies. They're 5-year-olds with breasts. Really. Would you fight and argue with a 5-year-old? Blaster says, add in her hypergamy and they can't be loyal. And hypergamy is biologically wired. Nothing you can do about it. Nothing you can do to stop Pre-False Law. Nothing you can do to make her happy. Nothing. Mr. Sammy would take a look at AI girlfriend. Interesting. Steven says, all of my experience with women have been negative, and now dealing with the daughter and sister that have the cops in my house every day. Dang, brother. Yeah, give me a shout later. You're not a mate. You're a mark. I like that. Lou's coming up with some good slogans today. You are a mark, a targeted mark. What is the definition of a mark? We know what a mark is. Woody Allen stayed away from technology. He's a successful. He's a perv, but I like a lot of his early stuff. Got to say, the AI Ana de Armas hologram in Blade Runner was pretty awesome. Yeah, holograms are becoming even more realistic. To me, technology means getting better at English. Well, you're doing great, man. You write well. Your accent, I haven't heard you speak, but you definitely write like you are a native English speaker. Feminist first wave, we want equality and to be equal to men. Second wave 2, we don't need no man. Number 3, we are men. Did he not just nail feminism? Good for that, Realist Vision. 100%. What's wave 4? We want to be women again? Same thing with the wife. She's tethered to the bank, tethered to the system. I want a decentralized girlfriend that you can turn off. My friend's wife looks like an angel when she sleeps. Too bad she doesn't cooperate. It's just difficult, folks. Marriage is the long con, and you are definitely the mark. Well, every woman that gets married knows the law is on her side. Mark, that is the problem with PUA and maxing. They are creating high-value simps. I'm a recovering high-income simp. We're all recovering simps. Every one of us has simped for a woman at least once in our life. Unless you've never had a girlfriend or anything. Every one of us have tried to get a woman to like us, even in high school. Or to keep a woman interested in us. We've tried to be chivalrous. It's okay. We're recovering simps. The dichotomous movie Woman King. There you go. I hope they can save England too. We'll see what happens, Realist Vision. When I join the chat, I think in English. Good for you. Then that's how you, can you dream in English? That's the key when you're fluent, when you literally have dreams in English. When I began speaking Spanish in the early 90s, about 4 months in, I was beginning to dream in Spanish. That's when you know you've made it. Jay, wave 4 is FTM. You're not mistaken. Sadly, the men created the divorce laws. Yep. You're right, brother. The legendary John Boston. Happy Thanksgiving to the legendary Mr. JB. He knows a thing or two about marriage. The girl I took to prom took off with another dude. A life lesson I should always have paid more. So when you went to prom, she skedaddled with somebody else. I've heard that happen a few times, actually. Can't even go to the gym without seeing them there. That's the only place that should be a temple for men only. The gym is the new nightclub. They're everywhere. There's this one gal that goes to the gym where I go. She's an attractive gal. She's a brunette, probably mid-40s. And she has a new outfit every day, every time I see her. And I see her, I only go like 2-3 times a week because I do walks, I do mountain biking and stuff. The other couple days. I'm not a gym hound. I get in and do my exercises, my weight exercising. She has a new outfit every time I've seen her. I've never seen her in the same outfit. She has probably 100 Lululemon pants, and those aren't cheap. Those are like $150 a pair. She's got tops that are expensive. I guarantee. And she's got all these guys that just simp on her all day long. I know I did. Simped when I didn't even like her, but it was good to be seen with her. No self-respect. Oh, we've all been there, John Markel. Simone dreams in multiple language. Attaboy. 90% of men worship women. Don't forget, women are human creatures. They go to the toilet and bleed and make a big ton of shizzle. Yeah, they are women. They're just like us, man. But we worship them. Men have worshipped women. What's up with Italians and stop signs? They look different in Italy. I work with some Italians who blow through every stop sign on base. That's funny. Of course, I'm assuming I'm free to reprogram her, and that she can be my assistant, including housekeeping, laundry. What's going to happen when those Tesla bots come out? Are you still going to clean your house? You're going to let that Tesla bot do it. Done lots of shite, all for a 304, even dropped something I love doing for a 304 who stood up on a date. We've all been there, brother. CJ, MMB. More men need to unplug from the matrix and find peace, quiet, and freedom. There is no going back once this has been discovered. You're not mistaken, brother. Peace, quiet, and freedom. Well, do a pro and cons list. What would bring you peace, quiet, and freedom? Would you put a woman on that side? Probably not. 1% to 2% might. Italians don't respect. I want to go to Italy and have real Italian food, homemade. I will never forget that Hinge date from hell, my weakness for Asian girls. Asian girls are attractive. Big world. If you don't go into sales in your 20s, what other, that's a great question. If I had to do it all over again, I'd do the trades. Go and simp no more, says the Bible. Adrian in the chat, good to see you. Yeah, we don't know about Tesla bot. I don't know. Having something like that connected all the time gives me the creeps too. Now she's a single mother with 3 kids. How many baby daddies? But it's interesting. The reason I wanted to go into sales, I was always in sales, selling chocolate bars in Little League and, beef jerky and Boy Scouts. And I always hit the number one. I always was the number one sales boy in those events. I always won the trips or whatever, or the trophies. But I think that the thing I like about sales is I can work 10 hours a week or 100 hours a week. So it's kind of unlimited, but you have to deal with the rejection. The Bible wards off men for being as a simp. Yeah, they basically say, quit simping, men. You're not going to get any lady unless her values come first. And what are her values, right? Hope you like seafood then. Real Italian food. I do like seafood. I do. But I would like to have I don't know, something about Italy is magical in my book. Never been, but, thinking of red wine, nice spreads, great from scratch butter, things like that. I could be wrong, though. And Asian persuasions are my weakness, too, says Big Chris. See you again, Big Chris. It's illegal to give a female money for sex, but perfectly legal to give a female your life for nothing. One mighty and strong, laying it down to Chinatown. Good to see you. I'm half Italian. Last name, those Italians adopted me as a Piscinao, but they are more Jersey Shore than Gladiator. Like the Italians from New York. Who are the best coaches in sales? Zig Ziglar, Bob Proctor, Brian Tracy. Wearing hot pants for selling cookies is bad malarkey. Says Mr. Blades from Scotland. Send me a macaroon, Mr. Blades. Modern women get no shame anymore. I've seen on YouTube workout videos where women squat, and in the middle of the squat, she pissed the ground full with her thumbs. Yeah. Oh. I lived in Dusseldorf, Germany for 6 months. No one could tell I was Italian. I respected every road sign. Ich liebe dich, du bist schlampa. Ich bin steif. Those are the only words I know, and they're all bad. I know what they mean, too. See, this info was strategically kept from us for a reason to control us in being stupid. We have to find out. We have to crash and burn before we find out this. We wouldn't listen anyways. If someone said women are like that, we wouldn't. No, I'm not. Not all women are like that. We would be all in the wall 30 years ago. It's the Italian Air Force, but their military is much different than ours. Guys, it's been a great stream. I am going to skedaddle. Today, I'm not working. I don't really work the week of Thanksgiving. No one's really in the office to get a hold of, so it's more of housekeeping and stuff like that. But you guys have a great Thanksgiving. We'll see you on the next one. And remember, peace, quiet, and freedom is your only future. Choose wisely. Peace.